This is the plaintiff, Victoria Panesso. She says she brought her jewelry to the defendant's pawn shop due to a financial hardship she encountered. And when she had the money to retrieve her items, they were damaged. These pieces of jewelry had sentimental value to her. The defendant never should have damaged them. And she's here in the name of justice, seeking $5,000 for her loss. This is the defendant, Sam Tarani. He says the plaintiff's claiming he cut a chain of hers after she picked her stuff up. How does he know what happened after she left his shop with her chain? Someone else could have damaged it, or she could have done it herself. Out of nowhere, this claim pops up like a mushroom, and he's supposed to cough up $5,000? Please. He's accused of pawn damage.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff pawned her jewelry. When she went to reclaim it, she found some of the pieces were damaged, but the defendant says she probably damaged the chain after she picked it up. It's the case of Chain of Fools.
Thank you, Douglas. Victoria Panesso?
Yes.
You are suing Mr. Tehrani's jewelry store?
Correct.
/ pawn shop?
Correct.
Okay. You don't want the name of it mentioned. For $5,000 because, according to you, they destroyed some of your jewelry. All right, what happened?
In December, I brought some pieces of jewelry to his jewelry store to have pawned.
So what did you take to him in January? Was that of this year or in 2016?
It was in December of
2016. All right, and then what happened?
Before I had brought him other pieces and never had any problems with it. And this time I brought a chain and a bracelet, a thinner chain, and the Cross of David and a cross. And he looked at it.
The Star of David?
Down. The Star of David.
Did you mean the
yes.
Star of David?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. Very.
Okay.
And he took the Cross of David. And
Is there a Cross of David that I don't know about, or are we talking about the Star of David?
the Star of David. I'm sorry.
Are you Jewish?
So sorry. Yes, I am.
Okay.
And
Recently or something? Okay. All right.
It's through my grandfather. My grandfather was born in Lucerne, grew up in Bern, and went to the University of
raised
Berlin
Christian, though?
and became a doctor.
Were you raised Christian? Because you keep saying crosses, and I'm wondering.
My mom.
Okay.
My mom.
All right.
yes.
So now you brought him some jewelry, and what happened?
And
Was it to pawn or to sell?
this was to pawn.
All right. So you bring it to him to pawn. Do you have the paperwork from that pawn?
Yes, I do.
May I see it? How much did you need? Hand it to my bailiff. How much did you need?
Whatever he says.
Okay, so what he said was $320. So he hands you, the way this works is, you hand her $320.
Well, according to the notes that I have, it was 200, and then we, after the 200 was agreed.
Oh, because there's...
No, it was,
Hold on one second. After the two... Okay, so in December, she brings you the jewelry. The date due is March 8th.
Correct. It's
That's
4
the
months.
day she's supposed to
Correct.
come back.
To pick it up or either to leave more interest.
And what she's supposed to do is on March 8th, she's supposed to come back with... You're basically loaning her the 200, and the finance charge is 60, so she comes back on March 8th with 260, according to this paper.
Correct.
Then you will give her back her thing.
Correct.
All right, what happens on March 8th?
actually, in December the 8th, it was $320.
No, it wasn't. I'm showing you the paperwork. Well, actually, you handed me...
Pieces.
Look, everybody stop. Who handed me both of these things?
I
You
did.
Okay, one is an actual receipt, and one is a photocopy of a receipt. Do you have the original paperwork?
I got the copy of it.
Okay,
The
show me
second
what you
copy.
got. Is it carbon copy or photocopy?
No, carbon copy.
Yeah,
Of
carbon
that
copy is what I
original.
want, because photocopies can be altered. That's why I don't like photocopies.
That's
And the weird part is that she handed me a real item and then a copy of it, and they have two different figures on them.
That's the original copy that we were supposed to get at the time of pickup, but she didn't give it to us. So.
But this document has like stuff whited out and then says it originally used to say 200, and then all of a sudden it says 320. What's that about? Can you explain what that is?
A third item was added here, but on that one wasn't.
No.
This is my
Right.
handwriting.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking. So that's legitimate. That's your handwriting.
Correct.
That means you probably loaned her
Correct.
another 120.
Right, the 120 and the third item before the 120 was added here.
And furthermore, when he went to take the jewelry, he took the Star of David.
Are you talking
and
about
where
back
he's-
in December?
In December. He took the Star of David, and he puts a fluid, and they check to see whether it's gold or not. He took the Star of David, and he just folded it, and he was in front of me. And I said, "Oh, look what you've done." And he said, "Oh, it's nothing." He took both hands and unfolded it. And then from the jewelry that I was going to pawn, he took a herringbone chain. When I turned around, he had this like a file kind of thing. It's a long, with little edges on it, and he was going like this to the chain. And I looked, and it's like, "What are you doing?" And I walked around, and I stood in front of him, and he just kept on going until he broke it.
So
I was
are
left
you suing
speechless.
for $5,000 because one of the chains was broken?
He broke it. He folded.
Do you have the chain so I can see it?
And furthermore,
Can you not furthermore? Can I first stop exactly where we are?
Yes, yeah.
Is this the
And-
chain that you say he
Yes,
broke? All right,
yes.
let's see it.
So she goes to the pawn shop, pawns the jewelry, and then picks it up, and 3 months later she says the chain is damaged. Is this lady out of luck? What do you think?
Yes, she is.
Why?
Because she waited 3 months to do it.
She says she didn't notice it for 3 months.
Well,
What do you say?
Well, I think if she didn't notice it for 3 months, it couldn't have been all that important to begin with. And secondly, if it was great jewelry, she would have had pictures of it.
Okay, but 3 months, and she's just saying, look, I don't examine everything. I went to wear it, and I found it was damaged. Is that reasonable or not?
That's not reasonable.
Why so?
Her loss.
Huh?
Because she should have examined it before she left the pawn shop.
So it's her responsibility to do that.
I think it would be if it was expensive.
You may be right. Going inside the courtroom.
Do you have the Star of David?
He has it.
Everything was picked up and acknowledged on March 21st over here,
Do
and
you
she
have
signed
March
to it.
21st paperwork?
Yeah, it's on this
Let me
envelope
have
right
your
here.
March 21st paperwork. She's saying, I guess she's saying that this kink in the herringbone was something you did.
The kink was there. I mean, everything was in fact there. The only thing that we do is to examine it and to see what carat gold it is and what the description was and whatever it was.
Did you
we wrote it
bend
down.
the Star of David?
Of course not. Why would I
Okay.
bend something?
I
It was
don't know
something
what
probably,
she's saying. I'm asking you.
It was something very flimsy, very thin, and when I was
Do
checking
you
it, I was
have the
knowing it.
Star of David that she pawned?
Everything was picked up. Whatever she left, the description is
Okay,
there.
so do
and
you
everything
have
was picked up.
paperwork
Why
to
would I
show that
keep-
she picked up everything? This is that paperwork.
And she.
Okay,
she's
hold on. Picked up,
March 21st.
what was picked up?
Everything that she left.
Well, you say everything, but why isn't it itemized?
It's itemized on the paper that you have right there.
In what paper? Inside?
And when
No,
some-
not and. It's itemized on what paper? Inside?
on the receipt that you have.
What's itemized? Come over here. Come over here. You show me what's itemized. Show me what she picked up.
Everything that
No, not everything. I want you to show me how it's itemized. What did she pick up?
everything
what-
that is itemized is on that paper.
How are you going to prove to me what she picked up? She's saying that you kept part of her jewelry. When you look at this, you know what I
me
expect to see?
explain.
Yeah, here's what I want you to explain. I expect to see one gold chain, 18 inches, one herringbone, blah, 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 one Star of David. I expect to see an itemization.
Okay.
And then her signature, and then that proves she picked up all those things, and then you don't have a problem. But why do you not have that? Why does it just say pick up and signature?
Okay, because
you're lazy?
no, 1 second. When they come to pick things up, we put it back on the scale, okay, on the time of when they come to pick it up. We put it back on the scale, we put it on the showcase, we put it on the scale, and they acknowledge the fact of whatever the weight is on that receipt.
Okay,
it matches
so
the
hold
weight.
on. This is your scribbling on an envelope. Can I just ask you a question? Is there any one of these on these days that she comes in and pays? There's nothing like that.
No,
Correct?
it goes on this
okay,
envelope.
and then on this envelope, this is what you wrote on the day that she was picking up.
Right.
By memory? Because, or was this stuff written on it on the days that it happens?
On the days and it happens, and then on the day that she picked up, she signed to it, and in red, and there it is. And that's the balance that she paid, and she picked up the rest
Are
of the
these
stuff.
the only pawn records that you folks have for what was pawned?
Correct.
This says 10 karat herringbone chain, 14 karat hollow something. Where's the Star of David on this? Then this one has something added. This one says 10 karat and 14 karat flat chain and charms. What charms?
Probably one of the charms that she left, but that's the weight in total that she left.
What charm did she leave? When you say she left, what do you mean?
The charm that was.
You mean pawned?
Right. That
But
was
she,
pawned.
but according to you, she picked up all of this.
Right. Correct.
Okay, go ahead and go back. Go back there. All right, ma'am. What are you suing for? You're suing for $5,000. What does that represent? Why are you suing for $5,000? Because if this is your signature and you picked up the stuff, then you picked up the stuff.
Your Honor, I did not go. I went only twice, so that I wouldn't lose my items. I had to wait until
Did
I
you pick up
received
your
my
items on
unemployment
321?
on a
Ma'am,
Tuesday.
did you pick up your items on 321? Is this your signature?
Yes,
Did you,
it was
you
in
picked
March.
up and you
Yeah,
closed it out, right?
It was in March. It was,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
in March, did you
But
not
what
notice that you were missing what you claimed
no,
you were missing?
I didn't realize.
When was it that you started looking for it?
June.
Oh, June.
I
3 months
didn't
after
even
you
know
picked
it
up the
was-
pawn.
it was not in
And
my
so you're looking
possession.
for the Star of David for the first time in 3 months.
Yes,
And then
more.
what?
I thought I had it in my possession, and in view that I didn't, and I had some jewelry pawned.
Pawned at another place too?
Yes, yes.
I don't
And
wanna
this
see
is a
that.
new place.
So you have other places where you're pawning stuff.
This
So
is-
you've decided that he owes you $5,000 because 2 months after you signed for picking up something, you can't find it?
Because he with no regard, emotional regard whatsoever, any consideration, because when I went in there, I told him that jewelry belonged to my mom. And furthermore, because I needed money, something which I shouldn't have because it's of a religious, it's as important to me
Okay.
as any.
What did he do wrong? Because you picked everything up.
he
According to
took
the
my-
paperwork,
he
you acknowledged
intentionally
picking
took the
everything
Star
up
of
March
David.
21st,
He
and you don't
folded
notice
it,
until
and
June
then
that this
took my
precious thing,
chain and ripped it,
precious
and
thing
then
to you is missing.
Furthermore, he kept the Star of David.
Okay,
He
that
kept
chain,
the
is that
cross.
the chain you say he ripped? Because that's not ripped. It just
Yes.
has a kink in the herringbone.
That's what he
Anybody
ripped.
who owns a herringbone chain knows a kink in the herringbone.
He ripped it.
I'm not
He tore
asking you
it
a
in
question.
half. He tore
And
it
I
in
don't
half.
want, you know what? I don't like how you're standing. Stand
I'm
like you
willing
should
to
in a
take
court
a
of law.
polygraph
Because
if
it's
you'd
not
like,
funny
Your
that
Honor.
she's in this kind of pain. It's just not a winnable case for her.
I'd
okay?
like to take a
Because there's no
polygraph.
question in my mind that she's in pain. It's just that she's having some difficulty proving her case. And based on what I have listened to, there is nothing that is going to persuade me that somehow somebody owes you $5,000, the statutory maximum, for whatever it is that you're complaining about. Because the paperwork shows you picked up all your stuff.
No, I
You
didn't.
yourself admit that you thought you'd picked up all your stuff. You
Because
yourself signed the paperwork. You
was-
yourself say that it's not until 3
Your
months
Hon-
later that you
Your Honor,
suddenly
but it was-
realized that he defaced something and didn't return it to you. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Well, as painful as it may be for Ms. Bonesso, the plaintiff, you just didn't have what you needed to prove your case. Do you understand what the judge just did?
No, I have no idea what she just did. When I tried to speak to her and tried to explain, I didn't speak.
Ma'am, the important thing is you signed for the jewelry. You got it back.
No, I didn't. I
You have
signed for the
You signed for it.
You're not looking at the paperwork properly.
The judge did. I don't look at it. The judge did.
The paperwork that I signed was supposed to
Look,
be.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you
I'm
very
sorry.
much.
Up, doors this way. You're going the wrong way. I feel sorry for you, ma'am, but you just didn't. She's obviously very upset, and understandably, but.
Hello, sir.
I think she may be a little confused, but apparently she did sign. You know, yours bad because your records for the judge did not seem to make sense. She was chewing you apart too, you know.
Well, everything was there, and everything was evaluated.
But you didn't list items by name, by what specific items?
Because if in fact, if it was worth 5,000,
Yeah.
well, according to what she is saying, how come she only got $320 out of it?
Don't ask
It was
me.
a fraction of
What
it.
about the Star of David she was talking about? You still have that? You don't
No,
have
everything was picked up and everything was acknowledged on the day of pickup.
it? All right. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
You got
sir.
it.
Your door's that way.
Thank you.
Okay, Harvey.
Okay, doke. Doug, here's the deal. This lady is absolutely right. She should have examined it when she left the pawn shop for sure before leaving. But I'm going to go one step further. When you take anything to a pawn shop or even a repair shop, especially if it's expensive, take a picture of it. In fact, I would take a picture of it in the pawn shop or the repair shop because then you can say, look, this is what it looked like when I brought it in. And then you have something to show the judge and you can compare it what it looked like afterward. But this one, she's out of luck. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.